Last week, Conor McGregor did a live stream where he was gambling. It was a paid partnership, I'm assuming, with the gambling company. And there was a lot of viral clips coming out. And people were asking me, Joey, what's your reaction to this? What's your reaction to that? I've done a lot of discussion of Conor McGregor in the lead up to UFC 303. And I hate just reacting to a 10-second Instagram post or a 5-second Twitter post where it's a viral clip. I like to go watch the majority of the source material for context. And I've finally gotten around to watching the Conor McGregor stream in its entirety. And let me just say, it was way worse than any of the viral clips that were shared around. It was way worse than that. I'm going to show you a bunch of clips in this video. Some of them I never even seen anybody repost. So there's some clips you may see for the very first time. I know everybody was sharing like the clips of him talking about Usman and whatnot. We'll take a look at that because that's part of a larger clip I want to look at. But I'll tell you right now, Conor McGregor has set himself up for disaster at UFC 303. And I can already taste the excuses from Conor McGregor, from Dana White, and from Conor McGregor fanboys. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because I can see it coming from a mile away. But also, there were some interesting tidbits where Conor McGregor talked about his future after the Chandler fight, where Conor McGregor talked about UFC contract negotiations. So I think there was a lot of important pieces of information that were also part of this stream. And then also, included in this video, I'm going to show you some of Conor McGregor, I believe it was posted on his Instagram story, where Conor McGregor is out partying, but that's not the main point I want to look at when we take a look at it, because Conor McGregor literally sexually assaults somebody in that video. And depending on their relationship, it was legitimate sexual assault, but I guess if depending on their relationship, it could be kind of excused away. But with his checkered past, I think it's crazy that nobody even called it out. So we're going to take a look at that in this video as well. Let's start off with the gambling stream. Now, I'll post this full link down in the description. Somebody re-uploaded. I guess he did this on another streaming platform other than YouTube. But let's start off with a common theme that we're going to get in this video. It's Conor McGregor desperately wanting to drink. This is an hour and 18-minute live stream. This guy desperately wants to take a drink, but he doesn't want to do it on camera. You can already tell. And let's check him out right now just sniffing beer, which I'm sure people have seen some of this, but it gets worse. But let's watch the first clip.
The finest stout in all of Ireland. Where's the camera now? Where am I pointing this camera to?
By the way, you can see him up here in this small corner. This is the way their stream was set up. That's why, it's a little bit small, but you can still see it. I zoomed in a bit. So if the picture's a little bit cut off, you understand why.
George Irish stout, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the cream on that, my man, yeah? Now they say...
This guy just creamed in his pants. This Conor's exact reaction right there was if Michael Chandler got a used pair of his underwear and was sniffing it as well. That's the same reaction you would have got from Chandler.
That's unbelievable, folks. I've 6 weeks. I've been off the drink. I've been off my beautiful products since the 10-week mark. So we're 5 weeks and 5 days out. I'm taking this seriously,
Does anyone honestly believe that he's been off of his products? I certainly don't.
To give him my support, the best version of me.
Goes back for another drink.
Still have a good whiff of it. And it's lovely. Yeah, I have a skull that and get past. Get it to the label.
He's like, get this away from me before I chug it. I mean, look how much he sniffed that drink. He desperately wants to drink that. And at this point, we're 15 minutes into the live stream. 15 minutes. And it gets worse. There's more. There's more here. I'm going to try to go through this rather quickly because there's a lot of Conor McGregor sniffing in this video. We're going to take a look at it. This is an hour and 18-minute stream that I'm siphoning through right now, or sifting through right now. And this dude's sniffing for probably about 45 minutes of it. Let's look at another clip.
Look at with the cameras at the changing, folks. Where's the there it is. Look at the cream. Look at the cream on that fucking thing. Not a gap. There's not a gap. There's not a chink in this armor, yeah? There's no chinks in the Forge Irish Stout Army. Hail the army. Wait, now let me have a whiff here.
Oh, gotta get another sniff. Gotta get another sniff.
Ah, it's relaxing. accent, boys. It's like entering the brewery. It's like entering my brewery in Dublin, Ireland. Yeah. Down to the label and have a good waffle up the nose. Ah, yeah. And yeah, it takes me straight into the brewery.
All right, so there you go. Conor McGregor sniffing something other than cocaine. Now, the next clip we're going to look at is him teasing a big announcement. Now, the initial clip that I saw of the big announcement that Conor teased was from the Mac Life interview. If I had saw this clip sooner, I would have known exactly what the big announcement was, which I already predicted without seeing this. But I figured I'd show it in this video as well in case you're wondering or still, potentially wondering what the big announcement is, even though the big announcement already happened, which is crazy because that shows that the announcement wasn't that big to begin with, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's listen to what he has to say here.
I'll be in Las Vegas June 3rd. We've got a humongous announcement coming from myself and the UFC regarding an announcement and an event that's taking place. And after that takes place, I'm shipping up to Vegas. So I won't be in Los Angeles.
So massive announcement. After that, I will be shipping off to Las Vegas. So if I would have seen this clip before the Mac Life clip, I would have already known it's a press conference in Dublin. And that's exactly what it is. There's a press conference for UFC 303, Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, June 3rd in Dublin, which is crazy. They're making Michael Chandler fly halfway across the world a couple weeks before their fight. He's already left his family since January. Some people have been asking me, Joey, what's your reaction to the press conference? Because I really haven't talked about it that much. My reaction is I don't care. I mean, what is Conor going to talk crap to Chandler? It doesn't. Am I going to watch? Sure. Do I really care all that much? No. I think a lot of people are going to hype it up and the media is going to hype it up and there's probably going to be other content creators hyping it up just because this is what earns them money. And I understand that and it earns me money too. But at the end of the day, I have to be honest with you guys. I really don't care. Conor McGregor is going to say, oh yeah, you'll do what you're told. Chandler's going to be like, see you at the top. I'm just happy to be here. I left my family in January. See you at the top. Can't wait to sniff your ass some more, Conor, like you've been sniffing that alcohol. So in terms of the press conference, don't really care. Don't think it's a mega announcement, but apparently this was Linnea's doing. So shout out to Linnea for putting together this press conference. I don't think it's going to be that good. Chandler's just been sucking off Conor for months. What's Conor going to do? Get all aggressive with him? Okay, he might embarrass him a little bit, but I'm sure it's not going to be that great of a press conference. I think even the people who love the press conferences, I don't think it's going to be that great. Okay, next clip. This is where Conor talks about his fighting future. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit to right about here. And he talks about what is his plans for after Michael Chandler.
Happy indeed. And then straight away, I'll be back in for September. The Sphere is going on in Mexican Independence Day. We're looking for opponents for that. I'd love the Diaz trilogy for that one. I've said it publicly.
So he wants the Sphere. He wants the Diaz trilogy. And in a second, he's going to talk about contract negotiations with the UFC because after the Chandler fight, he only has one fight left on his deal. Now, what I find interesting about this, he's been talking about the Sphere for a while. The UFC has been talking about the Sphere for a while. And Sean O'Malley's been saying, I want to fight in the Sphere. I want to fight Merab in the Sphere. And he says he can't get an answer yet from the UFC. So I wonder, I don't want to say this is a guarantee. I wonder if the UFC is waiting to see what happens with him versus Chandler before they book the Sphere. But I think ultimately it's going to be O'Malley versus Merab or Holloway or Topuria versus Holloway for the featherweight title. I think it'll probably be one of those two fights. I doubt they're going to book Conor McGregor in the Sphere. Especially, I don't trust Conor McGregor to make a 3-month turnaround, even though he says he's going to. And he even says he's going to fight in December as well here in a second. So listen to the rest of it.
There was Walter put on it a little bit, almost instant. But who knows? Diaz and Masvidal are fighting in a boxing bout. Both Mexican, is Masvidal Mexican a little bit? Is he? Cuban, okay. Gaethje's a Mexican. Who else? Gaethje got knocked out. Whoever, I'm looking for opponents, yeah? So, June 29th. I won that? Yeah, yes. I'm up 70 grand now. 70 G's, just like that.
So he's going to talk a little bit more about it in a second, but I don't remember what year it was. But does anyone remember when Conor McGregor says he's going to have his season and he's going to fight 4 times this year and then he fought like once that year? Now, granted, I think that might have been the pandemic year where he fought in early 2020. So I kind of want to give him a pass for that. But how long has Conor been promising he's going to be active? He's going to be active. He's going to be active. And then he's not active. And this is prior to the injury. Okay. I know people are going to say injury. I don't really trust that Conor's going to be super active. And he even says, oh, well, you never know anyway. But he says September. He says he's going to fight in June, September, and then hopefully December, which you'll say in a second. But he's talking back about the gambling, which, by the way, guys, if you don't understand how this gambling works, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about it because everyone's always saying the Drake curse and the Drake, look at Drake's bet slip. These companies, and I'm guessing on this whole dual bits thing with Conor, but these companies pay famous people to gamble with house money, okay? So they're probably paying Conor McGregor, they're paying Drake a flat fee, whatever it may be, I'm just making up a number here. They're paying Drake $5 million to then bet with house money, so he bets with $1 million, and then he posts the bet slip to, oh, everyone's like, oh, this is what Drake bet, you know, and we're going to go and bet the opposite because of the Drake curse. And then essentially it's just all promotional material. I don't know why people still fall for this shit. Stop resharing the Drake bet slips for MMA, please. If I can make one point in this video, stop sharing that stuff. But let's listen to the rest of this.
June 29th, September 5th, Mexican Independence Day, and then December. 3 belts this year. Now, I'll say this, God willing, okay? God willing. Because life has showed me sometimes different, you know? With injuries and with madness takes place. Please, God, please.
I don't think he's going to fight 3 times this year. I would find that very hard to believe. I would say 2 at best.
God, 3 bouts. June 29th, September 5th, and something tasty in December, end of year. I have 2 fights left in my UFC contract. We're currently in negotiation stage with the UFC. Let's see what happens. Let's see what takes place.
They're currently in negotiations. He has 2 fights left on his deal, one of them being Chandler, so he will have 1 fight left on his deal. It wouldn't shock me if he beats Chandler, the UFC is going to be in negotiations with Conor and try to ice him out a little bit like they've been doing in the past, which Conor has alluded to as well, but hasn't come out and outright said that because he doesn't want to make the relationship too kind of rocky with the UFC. Okay, next clip. This is him talking about his future title aspirations. And you can just tell this dude's checked out. You know, I always talk about Uncle Rico, the Uncle Rico of MMA and this and that. Conor McGregor in this clip, my first thought, he's the Uncle Rico of MMA. That's his new nickname, Uncle Rico. Listen to this.
Man, to be exact. Do you think you will still fight for the UFC title? The UFC title is my title, my man, you know? I have 5 of them in the house, or 6 of them or something in the house. I've 1 here in the Black 4 Gym that the fans come and see. The unified featherweight world title I have here for the fans to come in.
Basically, do you ever think you'll get a title again? Well, I have all the titles. That's not the part I'm talking about, Uncle Rico. You'll understand in a second.
You know, holding their hands and take pictures with. I've got belts all over the place. So, you know, I for sure have title aspirations within the UFC. And, you know, here we go. June 29th is the return. And onwards we go. There's belts all over. There's belts lined up. If you look at this lightweight belt, it's lined up for me. I've deep history with both. If you look at the bad motherfucker title, it's my title. It was given for Nate. You know, who turned Nate into the bad motherfucker?
Who turned Nate into the bad? Like, dude's living in the past. I'm telling you, Conor's washed up. Conor does not have a single win, a single good win since 2016, 8 years ago. This dude's living in the past.
You know, and now Max is the champion in it now. So, you know, these belts are all teeter for me. Then you even look at the welterweight picture, which is the next bout, my next weight, the welterweight picture. Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz almost knocked him out, had him out on his feet. You know, if that fight was going on, Leon's unconscious. So also, Cerrone went the distance with him.
So what he's hinting at there is, I beat Nate, Nate almost beat Leon, and Cowboy Cerrone, who I destroyed when I invented shoulder strikes, went to decision with Leon Edwards. This is the ultimate Uncle Rico. This dude just can't let it go. And I don't blame him. And maybe he comes back and has a spectacular return because maybe the drug testing isn't as advanced or as strict as it was under USADA. But he's the definition of Uncle Rico. Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. He would have took states. If I wasn't injured over the last 3 years, I would have obtained 4 more belts. Dude never defended his title in any division. Okay? This guy's career is massively overrated, but he's living in the past. I just want to point that out because that just shows his headspace. Let's listen to a little bit more of this specific clip.
So, you know, I'm looking at all these belts. The lightweight world title, although I've held that, you know, how excited would I be to cut that weight again? You know, after winning it already, I've already held the belt. I'd be excited about the bad motherfucker title, and I'd be excited about the welterweight title.
You know what that tells me? This confirms something I've been telling you guys for a while. People keep saying Islam Makhachev versus Conor McGregor would be a mega fight in the UFC. I've even said that. It would be a mega fight. Conor does not want that smoke. Conor knows, deep down he knows he would get smoked by Islam. So he's like, you know what? I have a way better chance against somebody like Max Holloway. And I guess he thinks he has a better chance against Leon Edwards because he knows Islam's going to easily grapple him. But Leon Edwards smokes him as well. And that'd be crazy if he gets a welterweight title shot off of beating Michael Chandler, who sat out for 2 years, coming off a loss. But either way, that tells me, that confirms my suspicions. I don't think Islam versus Conor will ever happen because I don't think Conor wants that fight, even if he beats Chandler.
But, you know, we'll see what happens. I take things as they come. There should be a McGregor belt or some sort of you know, money belt or something. I don't know. The UFC needs to come up with one for me, because all of these things were created off of the back of me. The BMF title, the double weight, you know. It's time. There should be a McGregor belt of some sort.
He wants his own belt. I told you guys this is a slippery slope. You start normalizing the BMF. Next thing you know, we have an Intercontinental. Next thing you know, we got a BMF, or not a BMF. Next thing you know, we got a hardcore belt. Next thing you know, we got a money-weight belt. This dude wants to create his own belt because he can't win a belt. He'll never win a belt again unless somehow he flukes a win in an undeserved title shot. He's never earning an actual title shot legitimately and then winning a belt. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. So if he can get a title shot and then pray somebody gets injured and he wins, that's the only way he's ever getting a belt. So he wants the UFC to create a belt for him. And if enough media and fans get behind it, the UFC would do it. The UFC would do it, which is an absolute disaster and ruins the legitimacy of the sport. Next clip. We're going to get into some more sniffing from Conor McGregor. Some more sniffing. And this is, you know, a clip that, you know, I didn't really see get shared around quite a bit. I mean, this guy desperately wants alcohol to sniff. This is like 40 minutes into the stream. Let's listen to what he says. Listen to what he says here.
Come on.
There we go.
Yes. Back up.
100 grand. Easy.
Okay, back up. So, okay.
Alright, you get to go home.
So, I'm up 80,000. He's all right. He's all right. For the minute.
I showed that for context of kind of the situation that's going on. This is out of nowhere. Listen to what he says right here. I paused it right before. He's like, go get me some alcohol. I need to sniff it.
I have a waft of a proper 12 whiskey. I have a little waft. Yeah, on the rocks, please. Yeah. No, give us an apple and an OG, and give us a bottle also.
You want to try some roulette?
You know, I'm all right with this for a minute.
So he asks for some proper 12 and asks for some apple, whatever. It's another one of his drinks so he can sniff it again. He's like, give me that. I need to sniff it. And then I'll show you him actually getting it here in a second. This is just craziness. And this, I'm telling you, I could sniff these excuses coming from a mile away for Conor fans, for Dana White. He wasn't motivated. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't ready to fight. You know, he's coming back from a catastrophic injury. And I understand the catastrophic injury is an excuse, but I'm already imagining a world where Chandler KOs him, and then we say, oh, well, Conor really wasn't motivated. Look at him in the weeks before the fight, which honestly is kind of true.
You do it. Oh my God! Give me the bottle. Yeah, give us the bottle. Give us the tail bottle. Yeah.
You want to give some people some money in chat?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hold on, mate. Give us
Telling him to give him the bottle.
what? Hold on, wait.
With more people there.
Hold on, wait. Give me a second. Let me just, yeah. And the apple, is there a bottle of the apple as well? Ireland's finest whiskey. Proper number 12 Irish whiskey.
So there he gets it, and then I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I realized it took a little bit of time. But he pops this bad boy open and look what he does with it. I mean, it's crazy. It was crazy watching this stream and just seeing this guy. Imagine an hour can't go by without you just huffing alcohol over and over and over again because you so desperately want to drink it, but you want to keep the facade up that you're not drinking in fight camp.
Awesome.
And I think this is actually where he talks about Usman and Topuria. This overlaps.
Usman, yeah. Usman. Who's Usman? Kamaru Usman? Fuck him. Fuck Kamaru Usman. He's a bum.
Imagine calling Kamaru Usman a bum. Kamaru Usman has more career accomplishments than Conor McGregor. And I knew people were going to say, double champ, double champ, double champ. Dude got gifted a lightweight title shot over Nate Diaz after beating Nate Diaz, barely squeaking by Nate Diaz.
What the fuck about Usman, yeah? Conor, opinions on Tuporio. Fuck him too. Don't give a fuck about him either. He reminds me of a little retard Artem Lobov. Tuporio does, yeah? Two little retards.
By the way, I honestly think Conor's pissed about any fighter up and coming. Like, if there's a guy who's getting close to maybe being a UFC superstar and being talked about as like the guy to maybe replicate the superstardom of Conor, I think Conor's pissed. He wants all the credit for any fighter that makes his way up the UFC kind of, you know, ladder to become a potential star in the UFC. He wants all the credit. He doesn't like when anyone says anything about him. But that's besides the point. Let's watch him huff this alcohol. Actually, I'm wrong here. I'm wrong. I have to skip ahead. He sniffed it a little bit there when he was talking about Usman, but then this is where he really gets into it.
This gorgeous stuff, but I'll have a nice whiff of it, yeah? A nice smell of it.
Got to pour it out so he can sniff it. I know this video is getting a little bit repetitive. That's why I'm trying to go through it fast. But we're talking an hour and 18-minute stream. Look at him. Look, he just creamed himself.
Yeah, swirl it around. Get the nose in. None of this.
Look at that. He's sticking his nose in there.
Right up into it.
This is craziness. This is a dude in fight camp. This is an addict. This is an alcoholic. Did you hear the noise he made? He's ready to go get on Twitter and start looking for explicit videos of other men so he can like them. Okay? Well, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But there you go. More sniffing, more sniffing, more sniffing. So that's pretty much it for this stream. Let's get to... We'll look at one clip from the Mac Life. I don't want to make this video too long. But this is the intro to the Mac Life. Look how desperately this guy wants to be drinking alcohol.
You good?
Yeah.
Appreciate it, mate.
Oh, Ed, Oscar, my man.
Well, first of all, I know that
Oscar, brother, you know. I don't even got to say it to you, brother. Say the label, my man.
By the way, clearly Oscar from Mac Life can be peer pressured into anything.
Oh, no. Come on, even for a skull, I think. Come on, lad.
Look at Conor's eyes here. Look at Conor's eyes. He's living vicariously through Oscar right now. He's like, oh, as soon as this video is off me, I'm going to chug mine down.
Come on, lad. Yep. Yeah! Round of applause. Look at that. Not a chink in the armor, my man. Look, cream, top to bottom. Incredible.
I have to stick this.
I'll just have a whiff of it.
Look at this.
That'll do me, yeah.
So there you go. Conor, I mean, this video could be titled Conor sniffing alcohol for 30 minutes straight, basically. Let's get to the actual partying and literally a sexual assault that he filmed himself doing, which is crazy that nobody's even mentioning it. I know people are going to say, oh, Joey, you're soft for even saying that. No, depending on his relationship with this person, if this person was okay with this, literally sexual assault, okay? So let's look at the first clip. This is him with his wife, because a lot of people speculated. I said on Twitter, like, is this him sexually assaulting someone? And they were like, oh, that's his wife. This is the same night, okay? This is the same night. This is his wife. Let's look at the clip of him partying with his wife. Hold on, let me just mute this. I don't want to hear this music. So they're partying here. Okay, I hate to be narrating this with no music. I can't listen to that music. This is crazy. Like, I know they're having fun. Look at Conor recording himself and acting a little weird. This is crazy to me that this is a 35-year-old man and a 36-year-old woman with like 8 kids. Like, that's crazy to me. Out in the club at fight week acting like this. Like, I know they're, you know, I don't want to be a hater and they're, you know, they're just having fun, whatever. But this, look at this. This is a 35-year-old man with kids. This is a 36-year-old woman. What I take from this video, and I don't want to overanalyze it too much, but I'm going to. Conor cheats on her publicly all the time with all these dirty groupies. She's trying to become one of them. She's trying to act like one of them because she's trying to, you know, rekindle, I guess, the relationship flame, because she can't really leave because I don't believe they're even married at this point, and she still wants to live the lavish lifestyle she's living. So this is an embarrassment, but also 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out, I guess, a month out from his fight against Chandler. Chandler's in the gym hitting heavy weights every day, and this is what Conor's doing at 35 years old. 35 years old, look at this. Selfie recording himself. You can't convince me this guy's sober, by the way. You can't convince me this guy's sober. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's coke, you can't convince me this guy's sober. And his wife's acting literally like a 23-year-old groupie, okay? But that's not the part I really want to look at. The part I really want to look at is this part. I want you to watch very carefully because the video cuts off. He literally sexually assaults somebody in this video. Nobody talks about it. Nobody's even mentioned it. So I'm still, you know, I'll play a little tiny bit of music for dramatic effect because I can't listen to this shit way loud. It's too loud. Let's rewind it back. Oh my goodness, way too loud. Let's rewind that down. So watch when the camera flips around. By the way, is this the guy that's sober here? Is this the guy that's sober here? Let's watch when the camera flips around. Watch his hand. All right, watch his hand here. Literally tries to expose that woman. Let's rewind because it cuts off right there. He tries to expose this woman, and she pushes his hand away. Look at this. Look at that. Look at her hand go up to push it away. I'll rewind it one more time because I know it's kind of it happens really fast. This dude tries to expose some random woman's breast in the club. Now, maybe I can be corrected, and maybe the same night that he did this, maybe his wife changed, and maybe that's his wife. I don't think that's his wife. He randomly walked up to her on video and tried to expose her breast. This is a dude who's been accused of multiple sexual assaults. This is a man that is accused of forcibly sexually assaulting women in public restrooms at the NBA Finals. And now he's doing this on camera. And I know people are going to say, Joey, you're soft. He barely even did anything. That's disgusting behavior for a 35-year-old married man. And a man who's in fight camp too. Yeah, he's really taking it seriously. He's really taking it seriously. So all this to say, I already know the excuses. I already know what's going to happen. We'll go back to full screen. I already know what's going to happen if Conor loses to Michael Chandler. They're going to say, oh, Conor wasn't motivated. When you're waking up in silk sheets, they're going to say, oh, look at Conor out partying, which is true, But I'm just saying, we're going to hear this same song and dance forever. Conor will probably come back again. Conor might head off to BKFC. And maybe they'll give him layup opponent after layup opponent to build up BKFC now that Conor McGregor's a partial owner. Conor only has 2 fights left. He fights Chandler. He loses. He can fight another fight, lose that fight even. He can be out of the organization as long as it's not for a title, as long as he doesn't win a title. So there's a chance. Conor's not taking this seriously anymore, okay? I won't believe that at all. I know there's going to be a million excuses. It is what it is. This is Conor McGregor now. But I'm very curious where his career goes from here because people are trying to push him into a title shot. Ariel Helwani's trying to push him into a title shot. The media is trying to push him into a title shot. The fanboys are trying to push him into a title shot. This guy's out drinking a month before the fight. Chandler's in the gym hitting heavy weights. I just wanted to make this video to show you my reaction to all this stuff. And in case some of this you didn't see, disgusting, disastrous behavior by Conor McGregor, setting himself up for failure. And I really, truly believe if he loses against Michael Chandler, he loses violently against Chandler, it may send Conor over to like BKFC. It may send Conor over to like influencer boxing. Maybe him and the UFC will work something out because I know the UFC isn't going to want to let him go, but they have a relationship where maybe Conor can go do that because he's an owner now. They're going to be like, okay, well, he owns this company, so let's let him go. He's made a bunch of money for the UFC. Dana and Conor supposedly have a great relationship, even though I believe they were icing him up until this Michael Chandler announcement. But it is what it is. As we get more information, I will cover it on the channel. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video, share the video, and thank you so much for watching.